helping you, whatever, and you can take and destroy its national symbol without any problem, because that's what you do living here. So it makes kind of a difference. Now, some of the other flags we have over here, how many of you have heard of half-mast? Everybody knows it. That's when the flag's halfway up the pole. We all know. How? Why? Say it again. Ceremonious, right? It's from, yes, sir. Morning, correct.
Pay respect.
Pay respect. Thank you. All those are correct. What day do we put it at half-mast until? And then the full staff at noon. Anybody know? Memorial Day. That's like that holiday. The flag is at half-mast until noon and then raised to full staff. Because we honor our war day until noon on that day, it up to say we're still going for the rest of the day. Now what about Veterans Day? Everybody know when Veterans Day is? November the 11th. Do we put it at half-mast on November 11th? You could, but we don't, because that's honoring all of the veterans, which is the difference between the two holidays. Memorial Day, we honor our day. Veterans Day, we honor our veterans. Now, there's two different types of flags up here. I'm going to have Doug and Dave hold these up. And I know they're kind of hard to see. They're exactly the same. They're the same size. There's one difference in them. Colors are a little different, but there's one little difference in them. Yes, sir. Correct. He's absolutely right. It's an all flag and an indoor flag. The indoor flag is made out of cotton. If we took that outside and flew it out here in the wind that we've seen so far at Jackson Mill, and maybe in this storm that's coming up here, it would be ripped to shreds and faded very quick. So we wouldn't want to put that out. The other one is made out of nylon that we would hang in all weather. You can leave it out. Now, can you fly a flag at night? Yeah. Who said it over here? As long as there's a light on it. Okay? That's correct. And that's actually in the flag code. It says illuminated. Now, your definition of illuminated and my definition may be different. Okay? But it has to have a light on it. And it goes on in the flag code to say, as you can tell what it is. So it can be a very dim light, but as long as it's lit enough for you to see it. That means illuminated. Okay? We talked about half-mast. How many of you ever have seen a flagpole that you can't put the flag at half-mast? A couple folks. I have one in my front yard. It's a telescopic pole. It has a clip on the top, and you put a clip down here to hold the bottom of the flag. Well, if I put that down, it's still at the top of the pole. It's just a shorter pole. The American Legion came out with a black streamer that you can put on a flag or a pole of that type. So it depicts that it's at half. The only stipulation that they come up with that it has the strip has to be the same size as the stripes. Okay? Now, last night you saw a couple ceremonies here. You saw the POW ceremony, which we still have at the table here, and you saw the tap ceremony. There's a bugle laying on the table up here that was donated to my American Legion post from a school teacher whose father her grandfather was in World War I and played the bugle, and her father was in World War II and played the bugle. So we just put that up there to see that there actually were, that's how they communicated back when. There's two other flags laying on the table over here. The blue one that's being held up. That's for? Speak up. Well, you could say that, but not exactly. Yes, sir. Correct. If a family member that is serving in the military, you would fly that on your house. Let everyone know that you have a family member serving. It's called the Blue Star flag. It was brought out in World War II. It was kind of discontinued for a long time, and then they brought it back a few years ago. Now, the other one here, what do you suppose this one is? Yes, sir. Correct. If you had a family in battle, you would put the gold star. Every year at Memorial Day in Martinsburg, that comes to place by our monument because her son was killed. She's known as a Gold Star mother. You can be a Gold Star parent, sister, or whatever, but this lady comes every year to honor her son as she with one of these. So, I don't know, hold the marker up. Can you guys see any of this stuff over here? I didn't think so. Doug down here so these guys in the corner can see that too. Sorry, fellas. Anybody ever seen one of those before? Marker. You put that over a grave and you can place a flag in it. Now, you can get it to say that if you were in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, whichever one you were. Or you can get it to say that you're just a veteran. Or you can get it to say that you were a police officer. You get all kinds of different ones. Usually, if you see that in a cemetery, chances are the person. Now, there's veterans all. You can see them. But there is also a person here that we're going to have come up and place a flag. All of our veterans that have passed away in battle. Them. This gentleman will be tomorrow. He's in the United States Reserves. He's getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan. His name is Damien Cook, and he is a former governor of Mountaineer Boys State. Would you place the flag for us? I want to open up to some questions for you guys about the flag code, how to fly it, something you've seen wrong, or just a question, and we'll try to answer. Any questions? Wait for somebody to get to you so we can hear you.
St. Louis from Harris have some illegal taps during the flag return ceremony?
According, and again, the flag code allows leadway, and the American Legion has a manual that allows us leadway that says you can do that. In every one of them, it's the option to play taps. Most will do that because you're honoring the flag of our nation and all the people who went before it. So yes, it would be permissible and very dignified and honored to do that, yes. Yes, sir.
Is it true that how stolen did we get that from George Washington?
Well, that is correct. And we said the way the flags are folded in a triangle shape, they look like something. And it's not a paper football. But it is the way George Washington's hat looked. Okay? And on Friday night at your town, you're going to see, you saw your honor guard this morning folded. Or you saw the honor guard last night folded, I'm sorry. You see him folded, but it always ends up in that shape. There's a ceremony that goes along with that of why it gets to that shape. And then it's going to tell you the whole story on Friday at your talent show. Okay? Okay. Over here.
From Kanawha College, and before I've heard that it can be flown upside down for signals of distress. Is this true? And if so, what constitutes distress?
On Navy ships, years ago, they used to communicate by flags. And one of the ways that they said the ship was in dire straits or dire emergency was they flew our flag upside down. In the flag code, they left that in there up to the discretion who put the flag up. I mean, if you stubbed your toe, you probably should put the flag upside down. But I mean, if you're kidnapped, and I'll tell you a little story. There was a young girl in Texas that was kidnapped for whatever reason. And they had her. She asked who had her under captivity that she wanted to put the flag up every day. They said, okay, what could that hurt? Every day, for 14 days, she put the flag up upside down. Nobody noticed. All of a sudden, a deputy sheriff was driving, saw that, and this young girl was rescued. Now, where she heard that, I don't know. But that's why you would do that. I mean, it could be that, you know, you're locked and you put the flag in the window. Yeah, depending on this type of emergency is what you would do with it. But that is true, yes. Yes, sir.
Caleb Miller, Panhandle Cottage. I'm just wondering what conditions would render a flag unserviceable.
Okay. As long as the flag remains the same size, the same colors, it's fine. When you start getting to different shades of color, that's when you would do it. If it gets ripped on it, and it starts to rip more and more because the wind's going to do that, and it gets very frayed on the end, that would be unserviceable. So, it's an ordinary thing, but common sense says, you know, if my flag is ripped and one stripe is here, it's time for that one to go. Now, if it's the same color, the same size, and it's just got a stripe ripped, can you sew it? Could you repair it? No? Well, if it's the same color material, and it stays the same size, and it looks the same, you could repair it. Now, what if you go through and wash it to get the dirt? Yes? No? No? it doesn't fade and doesn't shrink, why couldn't you? You just have a clean flag coming out. So you can sew. So, yeah, I mean, it's discretionary. Yes?
One urban canal account. Is it true that according to the flag code, it's illegal to wear the flag as any kind of...
That is true. That is correct. Wear it as a pair. We can have these flags on the table, cut it out in your size, and make a shirt out of it. Now, can you take a patch, put on? Yes. Can you have it printed on? Yes. A real flag. We can't do it that way. But you're right, it is in there that you can't wear it as an article of clothing. Like, it kind of bothers Olympic athletes, although I'm proud of them that they won medals. But when they wrap it around them and run around the track or around whatever, like a cape, there's nothing that says they can't. But, yes, sir.
Sheets from Knot. There was a recent controversy about a printing of like a flag upside down on a shirt. I saw this, and there was a whole bunch of controversy over it, whether it was disrespectful or whether it was okay. And so I just wanted to know what your feelings.
My feelings are, personal feelings. My feelings are, if you're on your shirt, it should be in a dignified way. Okay. If you're putting it upside down, according to our code, some kind of distress. If you're putting it on for some other cause, for people to notice, I don't think that's my personal opinion. Now, is there anything wrong with is there a law that says you can't do it? No. Yes, sir.
Monroe, what happens if the flag hits the ground?
Okay. Our flag codes, we've already, you destroy a flag by burning. And the flag code also says it should touch nothing beneath it. The floor, the ground, all that. Well, if we're taking the flags down here today, and we drop it, and it hits the floor, we're not going to rush out and do a ceremony particular because we dropped it. Yes, we know it's not going to touch the ground. We do everything we can to touch the ground. Sometimes it happens. In the windstorm, when the honor guard's taking down the flag, it could very well blow out of their hands and hit the ground. You would still fold it up, you would take it. If it's still serviceable, we would reuse it. Because it happened. Now, for someone to intentionally grab it, throw it on the ground and jump on it, that's different. You know, but we do everything we can not to let it touch the ground. Yes, sir. You guys asleep on this side? I think they are. I'm just curious.
All right. Again, St. Louis from Harrison County. Does any part of the flag code apply to state flags at all?
Each state has their own method of folding, destroying the flag. In West Virginia, most of it hangs along with the flag code. So do it when we have retirement ceremonies, Martinsburg. We also put West Virginia flag. So, yes, sir. Go ahead. We'll get right to this.
Okay, so my name is Arpa Gupta from Gilmer County. Any company U.S. flag have a license or go through any special training to produce them? Or and is there another question? Is there a common brand that sells flags that is the most commonly bought flag?
There's a company in the U.S. Forge that does most of the flags for the U.S. is there anything against someone overseas or to another company or something to have them made, as long as they meet the specs of the flag code? No. To my knowledge, I mean, there may be some other federal law there that I don't know about, but to my knowledge, I don't think there is.
Damien Cook from Harrison. You might already answer this question, but what happens if someone burns a flag just for no reason or destroys it?
Well, in the country we live in, that's their right. They can do that. I would venture to say that Mr. Speaks, Mr. Fox, back here, the other veterans in the room appreciate that. Maybe you guys wouldn't appreciate that either. But there's nothing in that says they can't. That flag allows you to do that here. I teach this class in 5th grade in Berkeley County. And I always get a question every year. Bob helps me. Every year I get a question, how come we see being burnt on TV? I mean, I don't know how to answer that. See it, see someone's burning our flag. Here, it's their right if they want to do that, because the flag gives them that right. I don't think it's right that it gives them the right. There's nothing that says they can't. Yes, sir, right here.
Whenever a flag burning ceremony takes place, is there any place in particular where it has to occur?
No. If you want to do it in an open field, when we do it, we're going to do it in the amphitheater. I mean, it should be a place that can be somewhat a dignified ceremony, yes. Not in the medium of a freeway, that probably wouldn't be a good spot. But I mean, any place that you can get to observe it and do it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Question of curiosity. When overseas, is there any I would be under the other countries?
I can use my own experience. I was stationed in Germany for 5 years on an Air Force base, and when I first got there, I wondered why there were 5 flagpoles on the headquarters building. Because they flew the German flag and the flag the same height. Some countries do that, some don't. When they played the Star Spangled Banner, they played it and the German national anthem. They always did them both. So as to not to upset the host. I mean, when you're on a military base overseas, it's considered U.S. soil. But that could be in, you know. So there probably are countries that happens, but it shouldn't, because our code says it should not. At the UN, if you'll notice, at the UN they're all in one line, and the first 5 are the first 5 countries started the UN. So, yes, sir.
Marcus Lofton of Calhoun. I'm pretty sure it's a question, but places other than the U.S. so like we have that if you do whatever, there's no consequences. But do you know of anywhere that there are consequences? So what are these consequences? Like the defacing of a flag?
We're the only country that allows.
As far as overseas, in like Germany or England or something, I don't know of their laws. All I know is what our code says. There's no punishment for it. I don't even know if the other countries have codes like ours. I would like to think they do, but I don't know that answer. Back to back there, Bob.
I'm James Hageman from Gilmer County, and I was wondering just if we were to set punishments for destroying the flag in a disrespectful manner, what would you think would be an appropriate?
I don't think you want to ask me. I mean, you know, they say that the punishment is supposed to fit the crime, right? Now, when I look at this flag, and I think of all the people who have sacrificed for this flag, all the people who did this flag, gave up fortunes, lost their lives, families, for this flag, so that we could be here today, my punishment would be pretty steep when I think of it in that light. That's a very different. I mean, again, accidents happen. So you would have to determine that first. Was it deliberate? Or was it an accident that you defaced? So, question to answer. Good question.
Robert Nicely from Monroe. This isn't really a question. The one question about the other country's flag codes. I know Norway has one. You can't disrespect any country's flag and get faced with like 6 years in prison.
Really?
There, it's pretty steep. Maybe 6 months. I'm not sure. I know it had 6 in it. But I know that.
Write down, guys.
I remember that was like a monetary fine for defacing another country's flag.
That was Norway?
Norway.
Thank you. That's good information. There's a couple in the back.
I'm Justin Wheeler from American College, and are all military men like buried with their flag?
Every military veteran has rights to have a military funeral and can be buried in a national cemetery. That's up to the person. Not every veteran wants that. I've known some guys that didn't want any fuss. They didn't want the flag. They didn't want, you know, a big ceremony or anything. But every veteran has that right.
My name is Stella Giles from Calhoun Cottage. Why is the American flag here, not other flags?
Not in front.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
Well, there are displays that they use where the flag is in front and everything else is behind it. That's true. In the interest of space, according to the flag code, you can line them in a straight line as long as that one is in the position of honor. Right. So, I mean, you're right. It can be the way you're saying. Okay, guys. Our class is now over. We just got word that we are supposed to go to your next place, look at your manuals to find out where you're supposed to be. As you're leaving, I'll leave you with a couple thoughts. I want you guys to make sure that you think as we talked about. This is your flag. If you see it disrespected, they're actually disrespected.